Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Johnny Girardi. I'm DataSelf's founder and CEO. I'm a big data geek. I was a software engineer in my early career, and then I became a business person. And for the past 20 plus years, I've been helping mid-sized organizations using systems like Acumatica to improve their decision support system. This is Tom Fitzpatrick. He's our BI solution engineer. And today, during the presentation, one portion of the presentation, Tom will lead. So today, this is the pre-Acumatica Summit 2026 webinar. I will be releasing a bunch of new things and exciting things during Summit, and this is an overview. And primarily is about the next generation Acumatica BI reporting with artificial intelligence. This is pretty much what we call practical business intelligence with artificial intelligence to help you, business users, analysts, and decision makers to accelerate and make more informed decisions. So let's get it going. The first thing I want to just show very briefly is the timeline of our BI, business intelligence with AI. We've been in business for a little over 20 years. Our focus is business intelligence, is improving the decision support system. As part of our framework, we've been using AI for about 8 years. So BI with AI is not new to us. The first generation of AI wasn't amazing. Only a small number of companies were using, but we started our experience back in 2018. And since 2024, when the generative AI was incorporated into BI, now BI with AI, there's a lot more use cases where AI is amazing. But the focus of this webinar is to show the whole BI with AI journey and how we can enhance and accelerate your journey in case you decide to move forward with it. We broke down this webinar in 2 main sections. First of all, let's be sure that the business users, they get a good understanding of what we bring to the table. So the next 20, 25 minutes is really focused on business problems, business users, in a demo specifically for business people. Part 2 is going to be the remaining 20, 25 minutes. We'll open the hood and we'll show you a lot of the underlying things, how the magic, kind of happens. For the first part, at the end of the first part, we'll also talk about pricing of the solution, including promotions we have for Acumatica Summit. So be sure, if you see value in this, pay attention to the first section, going through the end of it because of the potential pricing implications and see if it fits your budget. So let's get started. So first of all, if you are here, it's pretty much because you are developing and nurturing a data-driven culture. Acumatica is a big part of this investment, capture the data, automate business transactions. But sometimes Acumatica and other systems, they might fall short when it comes to supporting the decision-making process. And we always be sure that you work with Acumatica and maximize the investment you have in Acumatica with the reporting tools and whatnot, because we work with a lot of different ERP systems like Acumatica, and Acumatica has an amazing set of reporting tools. So be sure you are working with your reseller with Acumatica to maximize whatever Acumatica can do for your decision support system. Having said that, many companies come to DataSelf because they need more than what's available in Acumatica. So what challenges are addressed by BI with AI when Acumatica is not enough? Let's talk about it. This slide is about, if you're a decision maker, what are the kind of high-level pain points that BI with AI can help? So challenges. If reports are slow to run, slow can be you press a button and it takes too long. Usually we tell people if a report takes more than 10 seconds to render, it starts to become too long. Some people tell that takes minutes, hours, sometimes even days. So, that's kind of terrible. Or if you can only see a report at the end of the month because there's a lot of manual work associated, that's also a slow report. So if it's not running now, that's a challenge that usually BI with AI can solve. Ad hoc analysis, decision makers quite often they see a report and they want to slice and dice it. Why this is happening? Why is it great? Why this is not so great? So being able to extensively and easily slice and dice it is quite often a limitation in reporting tools in ERP systems like Acumatica and other systems. And finally, quite often you are following a lot of different metrics and KPIs. What else should you follow? Sometimes things that you don't know are as important and sometimes even more important than some of the KPIs that you're following. So sometimes part of the questions is, what are the best practice KPIs that I should follow and that I'm not? So BI with AI, the DataSelf package benefits are our benchmark is running reports in seconds. And the limit that we put is kind of 10 seconds. If it's taking more than 10 seconds, you usually need to call us or the people that know to tweak the dials to be sure reports run in seconds, anytime, anywhere. So speed is one of the benefits. We call the next topic extensive ad hoc analysis. We call also sometimes unlimited ad hoc analysis. You can go down and drill down as far down as you want. You can drill across. It's very easy, much easier than what you could do in Acumatica. With AI, and we'll show some examples, now AI can also help answer your questions, and sometimes AI can even ask questions for you that you shouldn't be, you're not asking, and AI can sometimes ask questions that, you should be asking, and it will be created. And finally, we've been doing this for over 20 years, and we have an extensive library of KPI best practices baked in DataSelf. In the art templates, you can customize them. If they don't work exactly the way that you want, you can customize them. So a lot of value for business users in DataSelf. What about for business analysts? Well, challenges quite often is labor. Usually they work a lot and quite often out of business hours and weekends and whatnot. It can be very time consuming for some businesses, the work of creating and maintaining reports and dashboards. Usually when you have too many GIs or what we call Excel hell, that's usually an indication that BI with AI is the solution to your problems, getting too complicated. If you have large data sets, sometimes it's just too slow to run reports. Again, if it's taking more than 10 seconds, BI with AI might be part of the solution to your problems. And finally, if you're trying to consolidate data across different Acumatica modules with different systems, and it can be a struggle going to Excel, a lot of work, that's also an indication that BI with AI can be a solution. So benefits of DataSelf bring to those problems. A lot of reports are automated, out of the box, plug and play. And with AI, a lot of the modeling and report creation can also be dramatically accelerated with the assistance of AI. In BI, there's pretty much no limit in how much data you can throw to the system, and the system still run things in seconds. So there's no data problems, data volume problems for BI, or at least it has the capabilities to handle a lot better than what an ERP system can. In data consolidation, also BI tools are amazing. Enterprise BI tools like DataSelf are amazing to bring data together from Acumatica, maybe multiple entities, for consolidation. Maybe you want to bring data from multiple ERPs. You are growing, you're acquiring other businesses. They don't have Acumatica yet, but you need to do reporting across all of them. BI can help you with any kind of data consolidation. So those are the two main slides talking about the challenges and benefits. Let's move along. DataSelf Analytics is the next generation BI reporting with AI that will address those things in a very elegant manner. So we'll start taking a look at it, and we'll jump right now into the product presentation. In the first part of the product presentation, we're going to be showing the AI functionality. And then we're also going to be showing the regular foundation that provides way beyond AI a better decision support system to help you make informed decisions easier and faster. So let me get out of the PowerPoint. Let me just reload things here to be sure the system is still operating without logging off. I'm going to start using some examples inside of Acumatica, outside of Acumatica. With DataSelf, you're not limited where you run the reports. You will define who are going to be running the DataSelf reports inside of Acumatica, who can also run outside or both. Sometimes some users, they don't want to go to Acumatica. They're not Acumatica users at all, but they want to see any reports from your company. So I'm going to start initially inside of Acumatica. In my first AI use case, it's one of the most popular for business users because is a part of the AI solution within BI that you just have to ask your question in your language. In English, sure. In Spanish, in Chinese, no matter what language it is, you can ask the question in your language. And if the tool can answer, right, it will answer instantly and accurately. A big data point of AI that probably already know is you, the recipient of AI answers, you have to have the gut feeling, is the AI give me the right answer? And if you don't have this perspective, if you cannot, smell potential hallucination sometimes, usually tell you should not be an AI user for BI. But if you do have this kind of knowledge, if you have the wisdom to tell when the AI, those 5-10% might hallucinate, it's amazing how powerful it is. I'm going to show an example here. I'm going to use English because it's our language here. I'm in my AI functionality, and I'm going to type a question just asking, show the top 5 items by sales. Just plain English, what are my top 5 items by sales? When I confirm it, the AI will instantly and accurately find the data point and show me in a certain format. In this example, you put the items and sales in a descending order. Straightforward, AI doing the magic. What if I want to break down by ship to state? So just type in additional things that I want to see. I confirm it, and the AI will give me a different perspective. And in this case, beautifully, it gave me now sales by state, ship to state, bigger sales, and they are sliced by the colors, which are the items. Beautiful, amazingly insightful. Well, maybe I'm an accountant and I don't like to see maps. I want to see this on a table. Well, on a table, right? There's a little bit of syntax, that you need to learn kind of the language that the AI is friendlier, but you can have a conversation with it. And every time that you ask something else, the tool will render. And if you don't like it, you can go back, you can rephrase it. But this part of the AI functionality is one of the most popular for those who can work with AI because it's just plain natural language conversation with your BI solution. All right. So first use case, and you can answer a lot of questions using this one. The second one is a little bit more sophisticated, and I'm going to show here is the AI actually creating insights for you. So different use case, I'm going to click a new metric. And I'm going to go through a wizard, so it's a little bit more technical. So sometimes business people cannot do this, but many business users can. So first of all, they have to select what kind of data they want to analyze. So in this case, I'm going to analyze my sales. So that's a sales kind of related metric. I'm going to give a name. I'm going to call sales KPI. Just going to show the kind of the parameters. And then what do you want to keep track of? Could be sales, gross profits, cost of sales, quantity shipped, hourlies, whatever that you're looking would be a metric. Then you define what is the period that you want to analyze. Document dates, invoice dates, GL transactions, payroll numbers, whatever the dates are. And then you tell how you want the AI to slice and dice this metric and give you insights. So since I'm looking at sales, I want to see slice by customer, by item, and by salesperson. There it is. Okay. There's a bunch of additional options, but I'm going to keep the basics. So that's it. There are more parameters. I don't want to go for more parameters, more parameters. And here comes when you start to give the magic. If the sales goes up, is it good, neutral, or not good? It's good. So you click good, and now on the right, the AI starts to do its magic. You look at your data, you said sales, by invoice date, by customer, by item, by salesperson. And then it's giving you insights unprompted. You realize that 3 members of my customers represent more than half. Everyone else is the other bucket. Interesting. You start to see the decline. It's telling me, compared to last month, these customers have declining sales. These salespeople declining sales. Uh, uh, these are growth. There's a bunch of insights automatically created by the AI tool. And as you create these different metrics and you tell the buckets, you want to see that's monthly or yearly or quarterly, it is amazing how the AI will start to make analysis that quite often are insightful. And if you keep, the pulse of them, more likely you're going to find out trends that aren't in your data that the AI is going to prompt you before you realize they are great or bad. So this is the second type of AI for business users that we are seeing traction and many of our clients getting excited about. There are a ton of others, but I just want to give a taste of the 2 most popular. Having said that, I'm going to let now Tom take over and show other parts of the product presentation.
Great. And share my screen here. So y'all should be seeing my screen now. So here we are. We're going to spend some time just showing some of the out-of-the-box templates, just a handful. Again, we have varying editions of DataSelf, a Essentials, Pro, and Enterprise. The Enterprise has up to 8,000 reports and dashboards included. We certainly don't have time for all 8,000, nor do I really want to demo all 8,000 for you. So really today, just to give you an understanding as to the vision and what can be achieved leveraging DataSelf reports. So really where I want to start is in our slicer template. And the slicer template is going to allow us to view, really gain quick answers to ad hoc questions. Okay, so it has a look and feel very similar to like an Excel pivot table, but the benefit here is DataSelf as a product, we have an enterprise grade data warehouse running in the background. Okay, and we'll discuss a little bit of that in just a moment here. But here we can see we have our filters on the right hand side, so we can see the different years. So I can just simply point, click, and apply. So now I can see all of my financial years broken up. This is our revenue slicer. Again, this is just a template. So whether we're using this for sales or maybe it's inventory or GL financials, whatever the case may be, this is just a template at its core. Okay, maybe we don't want to see this broken down by the years. Maybe we just want to see it broken down by, Q1 of 2030, for example. It's just simple point, click, and apply functionality. Here I can expand this out. So now I'm just seeing my Q1 sales information. Right now we see this data showing our revenues broken down by our individual customers. What you see up at the top here is what's known as slicers. And again, very intuitive, point, click, and apply. Maybe I want to break this down by my salespeople or by my items. Or you're also seeing here we have custom field 1, 2, and really we have an unlimited number of custom fields that we can pull in to the platform. Again, that's because DataSelf leverages a enterprise-grade data warehouse, and we have our own what we call extract, transform, and load. So our own proprietary ETL plus programming tool to extract data from any tables within Acumatica or other data sources outside of Acumatica to bring it into the reporting platform. For this particular use case, though, I'll select salesperson, and in just a second or two, now we're going to see our revenues broken down by our individual salespeople. Maybe I want to expand upon this. Now I want to see my sales broken up by customer. I just simply expand this column out. Now I see my sales by salesperson by customer. Maybe now I also want to pull in some item information. This is where I can come down to my slicer and select that item attribute. Everything, every click that I've made here is really, you can look at, would be synonymous with a separate generic inquiry inside of Acumatica. So it really gives you quick and easy access to large sets of information fast, where you can slice and dice large sets of information very quickly and easily. Right now, we're looking at just sales information, but I could drop this down as well and have these key performance indicators sliced and diced by a variety of other metrics. So maybe it's by gross profit percent, and then maybe we also want to get our cost of sales, for example. Again, it's just going to be a simple point, click, and apply, and we can see that data render for me automatically. Okay. This is our fifth most popular of our reporting templates. It's the most intuitive of them. We commonly joke that if you can't understand or get this within 10 or 15 minutes, then good luck, because this is about as easy as it gets. Point, click, and apply. And again, does have that Excel-like look and feel from a pivot table perspective. Okay. Now I just want to quickly show you what an example of a dashboard would look like. So this is our year-over-year dashboard as it relates to revenues. Again, this is a template, so this could be used in other business areas as well, whether it's for inventory, GL financials, etc. Really, the vision behind this dashboard is to give management or decision makers high level, big picture view as to how you're performing across the organization, and then easily identify any outliers, whether those are good or bad, and then allow you to drill down into the details to understand why something is happening. Now, one of the main differentiators from this view compared to some of the dashboards that come out of the box with Acumatica is that when you drill into a dashboard in Acumatica, it's going to take you into a generic inquiry. With DataSelf, our dashboards, when you drill into any data point, it's still going to drill down into that data, but it's going to have the view of a dashboard. Okay, but it's just going to be a subset of that data based off of the data point that you've selected. So you have an unlimited number of drill down capability, but the view is still going to be in a dashboard view for you to ultimately be able to understand and pick out additional outliers and understand your data much more. You would have the ability to drill down into that underlying data, which we'll just show here in a moment. Before we do, just to give you a lay of the land, here we can see this year, prior year, and the variances in a bar chart. We can see our revenues trended over time in a line graph, where our sales are performing, whether they're good or bad on geographically, and then how we're performing prior year versus this year in the variances as it relates to customers and products. Okay. Now, this is just a demo example here. This view that you're seeing ultimately would plug into your production data, and we could have this reformatted and teach you how to reformat it based on your data. But here in this example, we'll just say we'll pick on New York. We can see our New York customers have a sales growth of 25% year over year. This is a great accomplishment. We should be super excited there. Let's find out what's really driving that growth. When I select New York, notice that this dashboard is now only showing me data representative of my New York customers. And although we're doing great in New York and we can see some of those growth points here in the variance side, what's really grabbing my attention is our third largest customer prior year is down almost 900,000 this year. Why is that happening? When I select that customer, now I'm only seeing data representative of that customer. Okay. What are those top items or services that are driving that decline? Well, we can see it's these items here. And let's show me the details. And now I have that generic inquiry look and feel where I can really get into the weeds and understand more of, who the customer was, the item descriptions, transactional information. We do leverage the hyperlinking, so I could select this invoice number here, and it's going to take me into my invoice and memo page where I could then pull up that invoice that is associated with this transaction. So you do have actionable insights even within these dashboards. So in sum, really what the year-over-year dashboard, and this is our most popular of the dashboard templates, what it's going to deliver for C-suite decision makers is big picture understanding of how you're performing, but then allowing them to drill down into the details to really understand how and why something is occurring. If you recall, New York was growing 25%, but it wasn't until we started drilling down in, it could be performing much better if maybe our sales guys did a better job watching out on one of our top customers. Okay. From here, I'd like to just pivot to some of the financial reports. So here we have a cash flow projection, for example. So this is more looking from a FP&A projection standpoint. Really, this is what you're seeing here is money coming in against the money going out. So anything in green or in blue represents our cash on hand today with money that we have coming in from sales orders or from AR invoices. And anything down below is representative of payroll, AP, purchase orders. We can also include other data points as well. So maybe they're loans or lines of credit. We've configured this in a variety of ways for our customers. But really, at the end of the day, this black line is going to represent, based off of the due dates of the money coming in against the money going out, where you can expect to be from a cash on hand perspective into the future. Okay, and you would be able to delineate what that is from this due date in the upper right. You'll notice that we also have the ability to then view the underlying data. So if I wanted to see, specifically this day, our performance, it's going to highlight the AR, sales orders, AR invoices, and AP and payroll associated with that day. Continuing on from an operational perspective, we have an inventory planning template. Really what this allows you to do is have a better idea of balancing that razor sharp edge of not having enough inventory, but also not having too much inventory. So this is going to allow you to plan and project your inventory, and you can have those categorized based off of high demand, normal demand, or slow demand, weak demand. Here we have the item ID, so this is where you would see your SKUs listed out. And then we have our column categories here with the frequency. So whether this is, we want to look at these inventory projections on a weekly or a monthly basis, that's entirely configurable. Notice we have color coding in here. So red means that we would be in a shortage of inventory. So we either need to create purchase orders or work orders to replenish our inventory, whereas the black is going to show us that we have adequate inventory based on the demand that's currently being processed through Acumatica. Okay, but notice here on the side panel we have our quantity currently on POs, quantity on sales orders. We have our projected sales. We can even pull in past sales history in seasonality into here to drive the data to be represented correctly. Ultimately, this is going to take us into what are, again, our projected excess or shortage. So we find folks really enjoy that are leveraging Acumatica, specifically those on the distribution side of the house, really find value in this particular template due to giving them better business insights on the operational side of things. Okay. Just to wrap up here on the project side, so we don't want to leave anyone hanging here for those on the call, but we know resource management is certainly something that for a lot of project-based businesses is very important. Acumatica does leverage project Gantt views, so being able to take a look at your projects that are built inside of Acumatica and then lay that out from a Gantt chart view, so you can have a good understanding as to really the resource capacity of your various employees across multiple different projects over that project lifespan. So just wanted to give you all a quick glimpse into a handful of some of the out-of-the-box templates that we have already prepackaged inside of the DataSelf solution. Before I hand it over to Johnny, we would welcome whether you're going to be at Summit in a week and a half or so. Please stop by our booth. I believe it's 503. Or if there's of interest and you want to explore this further, certainly reach out to Johnny and I, and we'd be happy to set up a further conversation. With that, Johnny, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Tom. All right, appreciate it. Great demo. I'm ready to buy. All right, let me know when you can see again the PowerPoint presentation.
Yes.
All right, thanks, Tom. So we are going towards the end of the tail end of the business demo. This slide here has a QR code that goes to one of our website pages that lists all the 8,000 KPI report and dashboard templates. So if you want to navigate through them, use this QR code. Most people, they actually want to watch the most popular KPIs. We have about 40 of them listed here. In each one of them, we have like a 2-minute video showing the use case and how they work. So feel free to take a screenshot of this QR code to visit this website. Move along. Just a quick overview of the AI. A lot of people are asking about AI, what you guys do with AI. So at the end of the day, the AI Plus, as we call it, is there are multiple AI features in the DataSelf solution. Primarily, they help 4 main areas of the decision support system. One is to assist with an efficient data extraction and cleaning of the data so the data can be trusted. It assists with the modeling, building the single version of the truth, building and maintaining it. So it's a very important function. Third is helping you guarantee that reports will run in seconds. We call the performance fine-tuning. If it runs more than 10 seconds a report, you lose a lot of users. So AI can help with that speed. At the end of the day, for business people, is really about faster and trusted insights. So that's pretty much what AI is coming. AI Plus is all these AI things, is they're not a magic one by far. They're not the only thing that you should be looking for. Absolutely not. AI is a new tool, fairly new tool, that there's some amazing use cases that they're super helpful. And there's a lot of people over promising and under delivering in AI. We are very practical. How can AI help you? And this is a quick summary of those benefits. Pricing, in case you want to have an idea of DataSelf, we have those 3 editions for the pricing are listed here. It's pretty much simple pricing structure. And this pricing includes the deployment of the whole system. Everything that we're showing you here today would be alive with your data on pretty much day one once you deploy the system. And this also includes training. So this subscription includes licenses and deployment and training. For Summit, we're going to have 2 main promotions that you might be interested in. One is if you decide to order your DataSelf by February 28th, you'll get 15% off your first year subscription. Or you can self-service deploy at Summit with a 30-day free trial. So if you're interested in any of these opportunities, feel free to talk with us. We can help you. With this slide, we finish the business side of the presentation. The next, we're going to go into the technical side of things. I would encourage business people to stick around, even though some slides I'm going to data geek out into some things that might be way over your head potentially. But overall, even as I open the hood of DataSelf, many times, many business users that are not technical say, oh my God, I love some of the things you covered in the technical slides. So feel free to stick around even if you're not technical. So now we're going to open open the hood. Let's see under the hood of DataSelf. DataSelf Analytics has been built for analysts and data scientists. So behind the scenes, if you want the power, if you want control, if you want to do things fast and automated, we're going to give you a little insight today into those components. First of all, I'm going to show the architecture, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a demo as well. So here we start the architecture with the transactional systems, like we call the OLTPs, online transaction processing systems, ERP, CRM, payroll, e-commerce, point of sales, Excel sheets, you name it. Any data source that you have that should support the decision-making process, or data sources for DataSelf, all data sources. So that's a good news. We can work with any data source. And ETL Plus is the foundation work of DataSelf, is an extraction, transformation, loading tool that can bring data from data sources using no code. You don't need to know any coding. You don't need to write APIs. You don't need to know complicated things. It's an amazing platform to get data from transaction systems like Acumatica and store in your data warehouse of choice. You want to host your data warehouse with DataSelf. You want to host your data warehouse yourself. You have multiple choices. But it's an amazingly powerful, no code, low code, full code data warehousing tool. The whole low code and full code is sometimes you have some data problems that can be sophisticated, and ETL Plus will give you full access to the code, so no problems that you can handle complicated data problems. Very powerful. Then we add what's called the DFT Plus layer. DFT stands for Dimension, Fact, and Time Modeling. Is a way to take your data that is in Acumatica, in payroll, in e-commerce, and put into star schemas. Star schemas are a way to organize data in a way that makes reporting easier and faster. In all of this DFT Plus, we have a lot of the DFT Plus pre-configured for Acumatica, AP, AR, GL, sales, project accounting, purchasing, field service, CRM. There's a lot of things pre-configured. And all of these things are AI assisted. And a star schema is usually an efficient way to get the reports rendering data in seconds. Now, the next slide is pretty technical. The evolution of the star schema is called the Galaxy schema. Galaxy schema is something has been around for decades as a concept, but only in the last few years it became possible as a technology mainstream. Meaning, if you want a Galaxy schema today, order DataSelf, and tomorrow you get your Galaxy schema. And what the Galaxy schema is allows you to see multiple fact tables. Here I have AP, AR, GL, inventory, sales, project accounting, sales order, all interconnected. And you can do an analysis of something coming, let's say, from a contact, an opportunity, became an opportunity, became a sales order, became a shipment, became an invoice, becomes a receivable, becomes a line in the P&L. All of these different, touch points with a customer with an item can be put in a single report because the Galaxy schema links all of your data together. This is an amazing new functionality that also many organizations don't even know that is possible using BI with AI with DataSelf. Next is DataSelf works with well-established and successful data platforms like Power BI, of course Excel, Microsoft Fabric, Tableau, and many others, Domo, ClickMonot, but these four are the most popular. We just make them shine and make them render value easier and faster because we take care of the pipeline. So supporting amazing data platforms. Then we connect what we call the KPI plus component of DataSelf. In all the dashboards and reports we talked about, and we show a few, they are part of this package. And if you work with Power BI or Tableau, for Acumatica, we have thousands, up to 8,000 reports and dashboard that will be plug and play to your DataSelf solution on day one. So KPI Plus is about the largest library of KPI template best practices. As I showed before to the decision makers, this is also a slide that you can learn about all of the individual reports as well if you want to take a look at the quick videos for each of the most popular KPIs. Then comes AI Plus. AI Plus is the component that I talked about that works on the front end. As I showed before in my product presentation, I'm also going to show briefly how the AI works on the back end. But it helps automate and simplify a lot of the process around extraction, transformation, loading, modeling, and data analysis. At the end of the day, is really to support the decision makers on the far right of your node. On the far left, you have the raw data. On the far right, the decision makers. These components in the middle, some people say, oh my God, it's so complicated. Nope, it can take literally minutes to deploy the out of the box. If you have the security, you have the credentials, you have some framework, it can take half an hour to deploy the whole thing. If you don't have, sometimes it can take hours, and depending on certain things, sometimes it can take days, even weeks. But what we're showing has been optimized in a way that the deployment is self-service, and it can be really quick to have the whole system out of the box up and running. Another data point to remind, there are more than 430 data sources like ADP, Google Analytics, HubSpot, Salesforce.com, other ERP systems that if you want to integrate into your BI requires no coding, simple integration. All right, having said that, let's jump into the product presentation. Let's open the hood and see how behind the scenes this technology shines for business analysts and data scientists. So let me go back to my web browser. So right now I'm showing ETL Plus. This is a new release. The web browser, the web-based UI using AI Plus is a new release. We have here on the left the main sections that the data warehouse. Primarily, we're taking data from data sources. We're mirroring into your data warehouse. Then we transform the data with the DFT, and eventually the data is plugged and refreshed automatically into your Power BI reports and dashboards, or Tableau or Excel reports and dashboards. So that's the flow that happens, that ETL Plus manages the whole process. So when I look in more detail here in the data warehouse, I can see that I have a pre-configured kind of solution. It has Acumatica, it has some Excel for FP&A, it has payroll information, e-commerce, can be BigCommerce, can be Shopify, whatever, sales goals. So these are the yellow section, meaning we're mirroring the data from these systems into your data warehouse. If I expand the Acumatica, then I see the Acumatica tables, the DAC tables or the GIs. You can have GIs or DAC tables. If you take a table and you expand, you can see what columns this table has been brought into from your Acumatica. If you decide to add a new table, it's super duper simple. You click, I want to add a table from my Acumatica, and then you have all the tables available from the OData or SQL available. And then you can just pick and choose all of them, just a few. Let's say I want to get activity and view status, and I click added, and that's it. Those two tables now are part of the data warehouse, and they are listed here. So super straightforward, no code. You can add tables quickly. If you want to make them a lot more elaborate and fine tune it, you have access to the full code if or when you want to do it. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to click the activity table, and now we open all of these additional settings that I can change the format of the columns. I can change my SQL statement. I can start doing transformations. Yes, if you are sophisticated, welcome to the power of technology. But if you're not, forget about it. The tool will do what most people need, which is extracting and cleaning the extraction. It also does delta refresh. The first time that you load the data, it brings everything, so it can be a little slow. But the next time, it only replaces what has changed. We call upsert. Update rows that have changed since the last refresh and insert new ones. Our largest Acumatica client has more than 70 million rows in their largest table, and the refresh happens in seconds because we already have most records from the past. On an ongoing basis, we only bring thousands of rows every time that we refresh the system. So very efficient, ongoing refresh. Now, so this is the mirroring step. Then we have the transformation step where we have the DFT layer, the DFT plus, the dimension, fact, and time. That means all the data eventually becomes a dimension. Like if I choose customer, you see here, this is a fairly sophisticated SQL statement that joins the customer table with the customer class table, with the B account. All of those things are pre-configured, plug and play out of the box. And it has the main logic of how the raw Acumatica data usually becomes sales analysis. And you can customize it. All of these are customizable templates. And then you can see here the DFT is pretty sophisticated and pretty extensive. Eventually, once you have extracted the data, transformed the data, then you want to plug into your reporting tools. If you're using Power BI or if you're using Tableau, then you can have your models for sales analysis, for financial analysis. You can have your Galaxy schema that does things across everything. Or if you have Tableau, the same thing. And DataSelf will actually load your workbooks and models from our out of the box, all programmatically. You don't have to touch it. Once you put the security, it just loads everything. It will also refresh those models in sync with your mirroring process. It's a very efficient, no-code refresh process. And you can schedule when to run overnight, every hour, down to the minute. So there are multiple ways you can schedule your jobs to refresh all tables, a set of the tables. Should the tables be loaded delta refresh? Should you push a forced refresh all those things can be managed within ETL Plus. So very high level of ETL Plus. We're kind of running short of time here, but I'm going to just show you the AI functionality. When you click the AI button here, now comes a prompt. What will you do in ETL Plus? And this AI knows your metadata. It knows what systems you have connected, what tables and columns those systems have behind the scenes in your source system. It also has all of the mappings you have done in DataSelf, what tables you have mirrored, what transformations you have done, all the metadata, not the data. The metadata is known for the AI. And when you ask a question, I want to union my sales from Acumatica with my QuickBooks that I just added from a new acquisition. You can ask this question, and the AI will check what you have, will check on the internet for additional content. It will try to write the SQL statement to answer that particular request. So the AI within the BI has the knowledge of your system, specific metadata of your system. It has the knowledge of data modeling around these data sources, plus the internet to answer your questions. Very, very powerful. Once all of this data has been processed, at the end of the day, it goes into a SQL Server database that you host whatever you want. We host the SQL data warehouse for many of our clients, but many clients, they have their own SQL Server on premises or on their own private cloud or on their Azure SQL in Fabric, doesn't matter. So it's your data warehouse. But primarily, as you scroll through the SQL, it's just SQL. You'll see your tables, you'll see your views, you see your DFTs, you see the data coming from Acumatica, e-commerce, whatever, all in SQL. And now, if you know how much better is to do reporting out of a SQL Server data warehouse compared to Acumatica, right there, probably you would see the DataSelf is bringing a lot of value from a data plumbing standpoint. So data warehouse is SQL, nothing new. It's completely open. You can use ETL to do your tools, to do your massage. If you need to do something else outside of ETL, it's completely um, open for you to do whatever that you want with the data. Eventually, the data will go into your Power BI or your Tableau system. I'm going to show Power BI. And this is an example of our Galaxy schema that is pre-configured. We have Galaxy schema for construction companies, for distribution companies, for manufacturing companies. The beauty is you don't have to start from scratch figuring out how to build and maintain Galaxy schemas. You plug and play, you get an amazingly well-designed Galaxy schema that then you can learn how to customize and maintain moving forward. But the heavy lifting of putting it together, the bulk of it is pre-configured plug and play. And ultimately, it goes to the KPI plus. The KPI plus is the last component, but because I already showed before during the business presentation, I don't need to show again all the reports and dashboards that are available. Now, there are more than 8,000. With that in mind, I'm going to move forward and open for questions and answers. And I don't have access to the panel, so Tom or Luca, if you guys can let me know questions that if anyone has asked.
I am
No.
not seeing any questions or answers or
All right.
questions at this time.
If you do have questions, feel free to write in the Zoom chat or Q&A session, just giving some additional data points about the Acumatica Summit. We're super excited to be in Seattle. Our booth is going to be 503. We're also going to have a breakout session, I think it's on Monday or Tuesday, right after
Tuesday.
lunchtime.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, right after lunchtime. That presentation is going to be a subset of what we covered here today. So we're going to have much less, I think it's 20 minutes, something like that. So it's going to be shorter, sweeter. There's a lot of great things going with Acumatica. Acumatica make investment in their own AI to make a lot of things improved. We're excited about the new release of our functionality, the next generation. Seattle, it's an amazing city. Hopefully the weather will be nice, which is hard in this time of the year. But at Acumatica, we're going to be providing umbrellas and whatnot, so we'll handle it. Seattle is an amazing city. I haven't been there for a while. Has been in Vegas for a while. I love Vegas as well, but I was glad that they decided to do now in Seattle. Tom is going to be there. I'm going to be there. We have 3 more people from our team present. Stop by to learn more things if you want to discuss things. If you want to schedule the self-service deployment, that is a free trial. We're gonna be doing that for a small number of people. So schedule with us as soon as possible because we're gonna close that door once we get too many. Or if you want to order the system with a discount, want to learn more before you order, feel free to reach out, talk with us.
Johnny, we have one question here. How are tenants handled? Would they be separate data sources in the system?
Yes, by default in OData, every tenant is a separate OData string, and in DataSelf becomes a separate data source. So they will be loaded into separate tables, right? A bunch of tables for company one, for tenant one, a bunch of companies for tenant two. In DataSelf, we have multiple systems where we then combine the tenants together. So if you want to do consolidation of analysis for operations, for financials, we can consolidate multi-tenant systems, and we can even consolidate data from different ERPs. We have clients where some of their tenants are Acumatica, some of their other ERPs are not Acumatica, but they still can see sales, P&L, and whatnot consolidated, even though they have different ERP systems.
Great. Jonathan, I'm going to reply with my email in the chat to have a demo set up at the summit convention for you.
Right. And Tom, about the Seattle event, anything that you also know that could be insightful for the folks here?
Did a pretty good job covering the gamut. All right, so Jonathan, you should have received that answer with that information.
Let's put the last slide. Oh, bummer, I forgot to put our contact information. If you want to contact DataSelf right now, go to our website, dataself.com. It has a contact link at the top entry. Click there, and then you can send us an email or call us. Our main initial, oh, there's a question here.
Yep.
Does Tableau or anything enable write back feature? Say, do sensitivity analysis with the existing dashboards. Randall, let's talk one-on-one. There are ways to write back. But write back is always a conversation. There are different tools for different purposes. So we will reach out to you to discuss what you're specifically looking for and see if there are ways, which ways hopefully can address your write back needs. Good question. But anyhow, I was mentioning that our main goal is to first learn about your goals, your challenges, and how BI with AI can help. If we are a good fit, DataSelf, we are 30-something excited data geeks. We love to learn about the clients. We love to sometimes just give tips, go here, go there to try to figure out. And if you need to work with us and we work with DataSelf Analytics or our tools, you enjoy working with our team. We're excited. We have been doing this for a while, and we should be a great resource to help you get your BI with AI done quickly, efficiently, and well-maintained. Folks, thanks for joining us. Tom and Luca, thanks for being part of the webinar. Looking forward to meet some of you in Seattle in a couple of weeks. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Enjoy your Thursday. Bye-bye.